Hello and welcome to this build order guide for an 18 population Mongol scout rush. All the key information will be displayed on screen. This includes some detailed tips for what you should be focusing on at each stage throughout the build. There's also a free PDF version available in the description, so feel free to give that a download. This build was inspired by a lovely video that I saw on Morley Games, and I've linked this in the description. The reason we've chosen Mongols for this build is the fact that they have a civ bonus which makes their hunters work 40% faster. This means that you can get in the food from your boar much quicker than any other civilization. And this gives Mongols one of the fastest scout rushes in the game. When your second wood villager is coming out, I usually find it to be a quiet time in the game. I like to use this as an opportunity to build a house. If you shift queue this villager back to wood afterwards, you can sleep soundly knowing that you've done all your Dark Age house building without any idle villager time. Another advantage of building the house here is that you'll almost always be able to incorporate it into your wall. This isn't always the case if you're building a house on the way to berries. So you'll notice that the first boar has already been brought in. My personal preference is to always lure the boar with an existing town centre villager rather than a new one. I find that it's much easier to be consistent with the timings this way. Because of the Mongols hunt bonus, you'll have to be luring that second boar much sooner than you would with other civilizations. To be on the safe side, I typically like to do this when there's around 200 food left in the first boar. After you've got 10 villagers on boar, you'll send the final 4 Dark Age villagers to berries. Once you've set your rally point to berries, you should have a bit of quiet time. You should use this opportunity to make a control group of 5 full HP town centre villagers. This is because once we finish the boar, we'll want to split those 10 villagers 5 and 5 on 2 different sheep. Having the control group makes this a lot easier. Once the 18th population villager comes out, you should research Loom and get ready to click up. I usually find that you'll naturally hit that 500 food with a couple of seconds to spare. However, if it's looking tight, you can always force drop some food at the TC. The control group of 5 town centre vills should be sent to wood after they've finished 1 sheep. This build is a little tight on wood, so you won't have enough to afford a second lumber camp. Once you find yourself with over 175 wood, you should lay down a barracks followed by a house. In theory, the best possible feudal time when you're going 18 population plus loom would be 8 minutes and 25 seconds. This means that if you execute the build quite cleanly, it's very possible to get a feudal time that's sub 8:30. This is considerably quicker than a generic scout rush, and in most circumstances you'll be able to get in with your scouts well before your opponent has fully walled. Once you hit feudal, you should drop a stable immediately. A lot of build orders tend to do this with 2 villagers, but I prefer to just do it with 1. You should also pick up double bit axe as soon as you get the wood to do so. You should rally your TC to straggler trees and drop a farm every time you hit 60 wood. By the time your stable has gone up, you should have enough food to immediately queue 2 or 3 scouts. You should be sending forward your scouts to raid as soon as you can, because otherwise you won't really be taking advantage of your quick uptime. From here, the build can go in whatever direction you want to take it. So that's it for this video. If you enjoyed it, then it would be great if you consider giving it a like or subscribing to the channel. If you've any thoughts or suggestions, please do leave them in the comments below.